We are here already. Let's get a little extra light going on here. JoJo's on. Hey, JoJo. A little extra lighting. I hope this helps. And let's see if I can get my chat going at the same time. Brother Francis Revels-Bey. So we're definitely in recording mode right now. This is actually entitled Circle Grace One Live with myself, Brother Francis Revels-Bey. It is usually a continuation of whatever shows I've been doing during the week, and it runs about 40 minutes. So this is an opportunity for people to catch the show, catch some additional information, or come on and ask some questions if they like. And usually in every network, whether it's Blog Talk Radio or others, we usually have to have some kind of account so then you can come in, of course, and pose a question. But I'm going to kind of wing it today. I'm going to talk about some different things that's going to come to mind. And usually what I like to do, which I didn't have a chance to do this morning on my Blog Talk Radio, Decree and It Shall Be, I didn't have an opportunity to really offer a guided meditation. So I want to be able to offer that guided meditation in this particular program for today. For the people who have never meditated before, and I'm mostly are aware that many people have, but for people who have not meditated, any form of meditation, I usually use a guided form of meditation, which kind of helps them get their mind engaged, get their 5 physical senses engaged in the meditation, so that way they can also allow themselves to come forward, in their own work as time goes on. So before we get started, let me open up with a universal decree through divine power and by divine grace for all those who get a chance to join me live or listen to these programs when I upload them an hour or 2 from now to my YouTube channel. May you be blessed by everything that you hear here in this moment. May it expand your consciousness. May it help you have a stronger spiritual stance for yourself, for your loved ones. May it allow you to move forward and move upward. Be more mobile in your spiritual base and your understanding. May it also empower you with grace, which I refer to as divine grace, so that your life becomes easier for you. And so shall it be, and so it is. And so I often bring up things from my book, Dancing in the Light of Divine Grace. And hopefully I can get it into the screen this time. Dancing in the Light of Divine Grace. This is the way it looks. And it's been a treasure and a journey at the same time, because I've been able to share these teachings from my own personal life experiences. And these are during the time when I wrote the book in 2003 and had it published in 2004, self-published. It was a way of channeling a lot of my experiences where I had my own anger going on inside, my own emotional and mental states of depression, anxiety, stress. So I started writing about the major experiences, and it so happened when I went back in my mind, I realized it was everything that my late mother had already predicted that I would be going through, would be literally experiencing. And at that time, it did help in terms of my clients who never knew that I had some rough times in my life, because a lot of people that know me back then thought it was easy peasy. I didn't have any difficulties. This information just more or less kind of dropped into my soul and by osmosis, and I was able to, voila, automatically read the tarot, numerology, just read people. They didn't know that there was an actual foundation that I wasn't even aware of until I got into college. Then that foundation started to show itself. And then I realized it was coming from my mother. She had already been planting seeds, so she knew the path that I was going to take. And so I wrote that book, and now I revised it. I left other chapters, all of the chapters from the beginning book intact, and I added on about 10 more chapters, which also goes into universal decrees and prayers, affirmations, some poetic reflections are in here that kind of made me think about the journey that I was on, and that this is a journey that everybody can do, and yet it's not for everybody. So I had to learn how to be a part of my own journey, be a part of my own life, and realize that, I have some gifts, and these gifts, I hone them into skills, and then I can go out there and help even more people. So this was that golden opportunity to do that. And it allowed me to share and actually open up more and really, really, really share the teachings. So I'm going to do a meditation with you, Jojo. I'm going to guide you through a meditation. Before I do that, I want to pick something from the book, a part of a decree that will honor you and help you get where you have to go. And I'm going to use what I call a universal decree for spiritual readiness, which happened to be chapter 25 in my book. It was a channeled message that I got on May the 7th, 2010. And this particular meditation that I received was, that particular date was a Friday. And the reason why I remember that, because at this time, I was still living in New Jersey on the East Coast, and I was staying with a friend, and I came up with the idea, along with him, about doing some meditations once a month, as we chose the first Friday of the month at a location in which people can come in a house setting and be able to receive spiritual messages like they have been receiving from me on a weekly, every Friday night when I worked at a particular metaphysical bookshop on there in New Jersey. So a lot of people missed the weeklies, and so I developed a monthly. And in that respect, people got a lot of information. Now, the only difference was, since my friend and I were running this, and he was one of my students, instead of me spending an hour and a half, I had a full, however long it took. We would start these meditations at 7 o'clock, and the people that came didn't file out until 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock at night. Sometimes 12, the channeling went so deep in the information that I was able to receive for them. And the other things that I had them putting their energy into, such as planetary meditations, and also teaching them how to follow the guidance of the channeled information that they were getting and implementing that in their lives. So it was like, charge $20 or $30 for 5 hours. And I would have these people going through these various exercises, receiving the information, able to ask questions about anything, whether it's with themselves or with family members or about their job. But it was about lighting them up with more energy so they could go forward in their life. And I had a lot of people. I had, for years, even when I lived on Long Island and I worked in New York City, and from Long Island, I had many of my clients were correctional officers who needed to de-stress, and a lot of them eventually could. They were taking yoga at a place that I taught at, one of my friends that's in the book, in one of these chapters, chapter 12, which is called Almost Flatline. My spiritual sister, Heather Principe, who works with the Cree Indians and is a sweat lodge holder for many, many years. She's a polarity practitioner, and she helped me. And I was working at her center, doing my guided meditations and teaching Tai Chi. And so one of the things I was able to do is use the meditations to help chill people out. So I had correctional officers, police officers. I had people who were working with the fire department. I had also criminal lawyers, corporate lawyers. I had amateur athletes that were able to attend by word of mouth. So I know that many of these teachings in here can help people. So I want to give a guided meditation, and I want to go back and find that so I don't lose my place. But one of the things people will want to know, and those people that will review this later, they want to know and understand what is meditation, what are affirmations, what are affirmative prayers, and what are decrees. As I said earlier today, a meditation is the act of finding your center of being who you are. And in the greater system, using our chakras, if we just work with the 7 basic chakras, the center of that is the heart chakra. The heart chakra is the bridge that gets you from the physical world of your solar plexus, your sacral chakra, and your base chakra or root chakra. Allows you to cross over that and get up into your higher realms of consciousness, your higher chakras, such as your throat chakra, that gives you the blessing of clairaudience, which is for you how to breathe. Yes, yes, I would certainly do that for you. And let me just finish this statement because I'm recording this too, so people get to hear this later. So when we use the heart chakra, we go right up into the throat chakra, gives us the ability for clairaudiency. Then we go higher into the brow center between the eyebrows where the energy of the pineal gland shoots through. So that's like our third eye. And that allows us to have what we call clairvoyance, which is seeing the light of past, present, and future. Your audio box here connected to your ears allows you to hear past, present, and future, the truths. And then, of course, taking you to the base of the skull for the akasha, and then the crown. So the crown lifts you up into higher wisdom. It allows you to tune into so many other planes. So I'm going to answer your question here. You were born on the 31st of October. 31, as I mentioned earlier today in the show, is very powerful because it's a strong, strong energy for meditation. And if you're a person who enjoys meditation, or you do some form of, let's say, astral traveling or higher soul traveling, or you channel on some level, or you go into tarot and things of that nature, the number 31 tells me that you have this inherent ability to go deep and to really pull information from various sources. So what are your various sources? Well, you have your 5 physical senses for one. Then you got your extra sensory perception that takes you into your psychic levels, your empathic levels, your intuitive nature. Then you have also something called clairsentience, and I think you have a lot of that. That's where you just feel and sense where things are coming from. That's a part of the intuitive nature and the empathic nature, when you just sense something. You just know that something is headed your way, or you're about to run into some luck. Instead of luck, let's call it a blessing. So you have that with the 31. And 30 in itself is a number of deep contemplation and analysis. Now you have that, you have that number 3 there, which is 10 times 3, so it makes it 30. So you have that number 3 there. So that tells me that you're over the top when it comes to learning things. And you really strive to understand where you're going. Okay, I'm going to help you with that in doing the meditation. So one of the things you want to be able to do is just be aware of the power that you walk with. So our birthday number, numerical day, tells us about our power. Now 3 plus 1 is a 4. So we break that down to 4. This means you know about order, structure, simplicity. You're also aware about, things that can be chaotic around you too. Something else that you are probably aware of is that, yes, see, the 4 is an old soul, the 7 is an old soul, and the 8 is an old soul. So you have this capacity to go deep into energy that you see, lines of forces of energy, personalities of people. So you're constantly picking up information. You're like a computer. See, I'm a 7. I'm a 16, 7. So I know your mind is going overtime. So you got to do something to interrupt the flow momentarily, to calm the mind down. Now, for some people, not everybody, some people like myself, you can learn to sit in meditation for a very long period of time and just keep yourself wide open, keep yourself awake, and just let yourself receive. Other people could benefit from walking meditation, just being out in nature, deep breathe, relax themselves, and then just go for a walk. And as they're going for a walk, go in line with the rhythm that they are producing in their walk. So they can inhale like every second time they put their right foot on the ground, they can inhale. Or every fourth time they can inhale. See, and that sets up a rhythm. Also, it keeps their ego settled so that the mind goes into the state of mindfulness. And now they're just paying attention to the rhythms, the rhythm or cadence of their walk. They're paying attention to the rhythm of their own heartbeat, which is slowing down. The rhythm of their brainwave level slows down. That's the mental side, slows down. And then you got the physical side, slows down. So it's like on automatic biorhythms, you see. So when our mind is constantly working, and see, the thing is, I'm not going to say that we can help it. We really can't. We're in a world that deals with a lot of technology. So your iPhone, your Android cell phone, it's a mini computer. It's constantly taking in information. You're wearing it. You're constantly dealing with it all day long. Then you sit at a computer like I do. Now I got an iPhone up there charging behind me, and I'm sitting here at the computer broadcasting. And so my mind is on everything. The lamp over here to make sure I have proper lighting just enough on the computer, make sure I'm not getting any interruptions from a Skype call, and then listening to my phone, making sure that's right, looking to the left, checking my altar. Oh, I need to do some things on my altar over there that's full of crystals. There's tons of things going on in the mind all the time. So that mind is constantly chattering. So something like meditation, walking meditation, or if you like to swim, or you go out on your bicycle ride, or you go out and you jog, or you run, or you do a combination. You walk, you stretch the body outside, then you start walking a little bit, and then you listen to your body till you go into the next level, which is jogging. And then your body says, okay, I'm warmed up. I feel like I got to run. Now you start running. But you do that, and it triggers everything. So you say, I pick up everybody's emotions and see what others can't. So that tells me that you're empathic on some level. You're naturally psychic. Now, a lot of people born on the 31st of October, you know what happens on that day? At midnight is when the earthly veil and the spiritual veil, the earthly world that we're in, and the spiritual veils open up more. So people now are feeling the vibration of the spirit world very intensely. And they're able to see into that world. Now, let me look back at your birthday. You're born in the 10th month. I said earlier today on my other show, Decree and It Shall Be, just by observation, I've been doing this numerology stuff about 40 some odd years, 43 years. And I've noticed that, and I always ask a question, but I'll state it first to see if I get it. Usually, people born in the first month of the calendar year, January, or the 10th month like yourself, at some point in your life, before you hit 21, you are living with one parent or an elder or older sibling or friend, meaning basically you have this one connection with this one parent or an elder that's very much like a parent to you, doesn't have to be a relative, or you're living out on your own. Did that happen with you? Did at some point in your life before you hit 20, were you living with just one elder, one parent, or living on your own? This is something I just noticed, that people born in the 10th month, that's Libras and Scorpios, and then people born in January, which are the Capricorns and Aquarians. 9 times out of 10, even if they had both parents there, they gravitated to just one of the parents. They had a closer connection. Now here's something else. Your birth year is 1967. So I always tell people sometimes to pay attention to things that are going on. Yeah, see? Now it's interesting. You put the number 13 for 13 years. Flip the 13 around, and it's your birthday number 31, which is a 4. So you had that energy there. And 13 puts you into the beginning of your teens. Okay, so we're discovering who you are as a teenager. This is interesting. If I don't include the 19 in your birth year, you have a 13 sitting right there, 67, which is a 13. And then we also have history. We have things that affect us. Vietnam War was cooking up right around that time. Uh, it was in the midst, in the middle of the heights of different level of the civil rights era. And after that, we had what Dr. Martin Luther King and JFK Jr. were both assassinated in the following year. So there's a lot of energy that you chose to come in on. But you chose to come in on an era where people's energies could pick up. Oh, okay. So, but it was a difficult time, see, because 31, which is four, and this I noticed, four, the series of four, the series of seven, the series of eight, have all experienced something traumatic in their life. Usually earlier, or the energy builds up, and then it manifests in a completely different way by the time you are in your 20s. It's a whole nother ballgame. It's something else. See, in your case, you understand what happened to you. So you are able to do what? You're able to identify it and then move yourself out of it at some point. Of course, these experiences stay with us for a very long time. They stay with us for a very long time, so it causes us to have to find a way to deal with it. And such an event like that took place in your life, it does many things to you. If you're a very psychic person, it'll cause you to scrunch down on that gift and throw it away. Or you begin to explore that gift so that you could bring eventually healing to yourself. But the first level of healing is you open yourself up to the gift, and then you try to make sure none of those personalities are ever around you again. And while you're doing that, then you're becoming a protector for yourself, which then allows you to be your own guardian, to strengthen yourself, to strengthen your spirit again, to strengthen your mind and your emotions. And then at some point, you're helping others who have gone through similar experiences or have low self-esteem, which is a part of that. And then eventually you get into the healing work. Because as you heal others, you get healed as well. So this is, very, very important. You get healed as well. Now, going back to your birthday, because I want to read it, and it's only you and I up here, so you get a chance to get a full blast of the numerology. Your destiny number adds to a 28. 2 plus 8 is a 10, and 1 plus 0 is a 1. So that's your destiny number. So your destiny number means you had to come and learn how to find you. The number one is about self-awareness, learning to be independent, gathering yourself so that you can free yourself. Okay, now one is a physical number, but it's more a mental number than a physical number. And the 4 is more of a mental number as well. 4 I call like the genius number. 4s are smart, as my ancestors, grandmothers say, smart as a whip, on board, getting information accurately, correctly, very astute. So these life's experiences have caused you to be what? Very, very observant. And then, of course, you're analyzing things that are going on. The compound number behind the 1 is a 28, and that's the number that suggests you can handle mathematics, you can handle some form of science. The other side of that, though, is trust. You had to learn a lot of trust and a lot of faith, but first in yourself before you could see it in other people. Because you got that 8 sitting there, and the 8 is like a Saturn number which rules Capricorn. So there's some trust that you've got to work at, and you've worked on that a lot for yourself. So you had to make these changes. Yeah, and that's because of what happened to you when you were younger. Those things that happened to you are still there. So whether you go get counseling for it, and even when you get therapy for it, it's still there because it happened to you. It didn't happen to someone else. It happened to you. So that means that you are striving to correct it. So one of the things is to be empowered. All right. And so I want to help you be empowered. I'm going to read this one part and I'm going to go back to your looking at your numbers. This is a universal decree for spiritual readiness. This is the first part. Through divine power and by divine grace. I just want you to feel that energy. Divine power means a divinity in you. The God and goddess energy, the divine mother, divine father essences that are in you, right down to your cells, right in your DNA. And by divine grace, which is the instrument of blessings, to receive things without being merited for it. That which is the infinite spirit as God, called I am in me. So God is known as I am, in capital letters, I am is God in you. The indwelling spirit imprints the divine plan. That's what I talked about earlier, in the Akasha of the universe, just like your subconscious mind. The indwelling, that means the spirit of God in you lives in you, imprints, leaves its impression like a fingerprint, like a footprint, which is the divine plan of my own I am presence. That means the God in you, in every part of my cellular memory. I affirm this is true. So I want you to take this in. I want you to affirm what I just said is true about you. And I decree. A decree is very powerful. That means what you're saying, there's no doubt in your mind. There's no reservation, meaning you're not holding it back. It means what you're saying is true for you. So it says, and I decree that this shall forever be truth in me now. You have the I am presence, which is the God in you, that lives in you, that dwells in you, that is you. The external is not you. Your life situations is not you. Your family is not you. It's only the spirit that defines who you are. So as you strive, you thrive. See, you're a survivor and you've gone on in your life, even though you've been affected by that situation. But you've gone on in your life. Why? To improve yourself and to prove to yourself that you could be married, that you could have children. Even though in relationships there could be ups and downs, but you could make it better for you. So in your destiny, what does that? The next number is the 10. That's the other number that grows out of the 28. Destiny is the 10. And 10 means you're innovative. You're an inventive person. That means one of the things you want to do throughout your life, you yourself can become a writer. You yourself can become a writer and be blessed by many things that go on in your life. And this will help you. This will help you greatly. And this will allow you to continue to be free to you, because that's important. Free within your mind. When you become free within your mind, you allow yourself to receive what? A blessing. You become that miracle. That's what my friend had talked about, the dragonfly. The dragonfly, dragon energy means you become empowered. You're always taking a step forward. Now, I got about 10 minutes left of this program, so let me speed this up. The 10 is being inventive. The 10 is like in the tarot. It's the 10th major arcana card. It's the wheel of fortune. That means, as the wheel of fortune, everything is at your disposal to use. Everything you can receive as a blessing. That means you recognize your gifts, your talents, which is the aspect of Taurus, a fixed earth sign, things that you possess. You move it into the concept of Leo, a fixed fire sign. Now you're looking at priorities, which is the most important thing for you to do. And it doesn't have to be one, it can be several things. And then you move it into Scorpio, which is your sign, a fixed water sign. And now you hone the talent and gift into a skill. That's what you've been doing, honing it into a skill. And now that it's honed into a skill, you go to Aquarius. And Aquarius is opposite of Leo. It's the fixed air sign. Now you share all that you've learned with the world, with humanity. So you look at your life on some level, something that you do that creates a victory for you. That victory that's you created now can be expressed as an experience, a living experience for someone. And this is good for us to know. So that's where it ends out at the 1. Now, if I was to add the 4 and the 1 together, that makes a 5. So that's the angle of destiny. In order to make this really work, 5 means you express it. 5 means you live it. 5 says you allow yourself to have more energy. You become more revitalized, vigorous. You do things because that 5 energy is going to say you have a youthful outlook on life. You're giving yourself, as they say, another opportunity to succeed. And so I want to find out now, see, all of these numbers coming together. If I add the 10 to the 31, that's a 41. That's a hidden 5. But your birthday didn't show up yet. Last year's birthday was gave you a 9, 2016. That was a 9. So you were in a 23, which is a 5 personal year. So when you enter your birthday on this year, you will step into a 6 personal year. 6 means, yeah, you'll be taking care of family, business issues. But 6, you will create more balance and harmony for yourself. Right now with the 5, you're seeing that you can re-energize yourself, trying to make yourself better. You might be changing the way you eat. You might do more exercise. Maybe you decide to do some reading. Now you're listening to this, you're doing something that feeds your mind, but feeds your spirit, you see. And through your spirit, you live. Through your spirit, you advance for yourself. You're able to bring yourself forward. So they're really monitoring my time. They normally don't do this, but they know I go a little over my 40 minutes. But I just want you to understand that, and you already get this, it's all about loving yourself. You pour on the love. Look in the mirror and pour on that love, unconditional love to yourself, so much that other people can feel the love pouring off of you. They can feel the self-love. They can feel how you care for yourself. When they feel that energy of you caring for yourself, you can only attract more unconditional love in your life. And everybody, your husband, your children, they have to see it. They have to feel it. They have to honor it. Why? Because it's emanating from you. And because you're able to give yourself the love first, that gradually heals up all of those traumatic experiences that you've had. It actually heals them up in such a way so that if anybody around you was being unloyal to you as a friend, being disrespectful, because of the experience you had in the past and the love you showered yourself with today, up to this point in your life, you're better able to detect it. You'll see it before a person opens their mouth, even before they think it. You can tell in their body language that there's something like that. And therefore, you're better able to shield and protect yourself. So with about 4 minutes, we still have enough time. Yes. Yes. Use your joy to heal yourself. Use your comedic side, because there are many things in that. So let me take you through a short meditation here. We're using this, a universal decree for spiritual readiness. So I'm going to pick something that I know, because you just used the word light. So I'm going to use 2 parts. I just want you to take a deep breath. I'm going to use 3 paragraphs here or more. I want you to take a deep breath and relax. In fact, I can give you the rest of it. It goes like this. I see and decree that God's own seed thoughts are always flourishing, growing in all ways from the deepest center of my heart. Through deep-centered prayer and meditation, I shall bring forth the depths of Akasha. That's the subconscious levels of the universe. in me as God's remembrance within me. I decree that I know my purpose. I decree that I remember my purpose. And I decree that I am, in capital letters, and, meaning you, shall be spiritually ready to live the light I was born with, the light called I am. Just absorb that, because that's who you are right now. I decree I am well and able to receive greater and more vibrant light that resonates and elevates my being to higher plateaus of understanding and living. That means you're going to live at a higher level now. You're going to live, it doesn't matter where you find yourself on the earth, it's where you are inside. Allow that light to come forward. I decree that by being spiritually ready, I am open to receive and be the beacon light in my own life. There you go. So you're on the path of a destiny of a number one, but your true gift of who you are is the 31. You're a deep spiritual woman. You have what it takes to be successful in your own life. As the universe is always ready to birth me and manifest me, I am always spiritually ready to birth new levels of positivity, of unconditional love, infinite harmonic peace that shall prosper everyone abundantly for the highest good of all. And just make sure we got a minute, a little over a minute. I see and decree and understand that the universe protects and guides me and supports me as I am dedicated. You are a dedicated student, called a disciple. That's a dedicated student of the light of the great I am presence. I see, decree, and it shall be that I now realize that I am in me, the God in you resides in my heart as a mind of God, as a pure seed of my manifestation. You're a pure seed of the manifestation of the God presence right now. And I see, decree, and it shall be that my spiritual life as light is ready to materialize. That means to become physical on and throughout Mother Earth and beyond as I am. I want you to absorb that. Take that and work with it. And if you'd like, I'll send this one to you. I'll type it up and put it in a email. If you email me at iam.circleofgrace1@gmail.com, Jojo, I will put this into an email and send it to you, and you can read it every day to empower yourself. It's time for me to go. They're definitely monitoring me this week here at Zoom. Thank you for coming on and being with me today. You can always email me with questions.